This is Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
Merry Christmas weekend. We are very happy that you chose to use part of your holiday weekend and spend it with us here on Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl. We've got a great matchup for you as we work through our first round and start filling up our Sweet 16. It's getting pretty full. We don't have too many games left in our first round. One of these two teams will advance to the Sweet 16. First of all, let's say hello to the Winnebago Indians. We talk a lot about numbers in this game. Get this, high-scoring Indians have scored 200 or better in 8 of their last 10 games. A repeat today could find them advancing to the second round for the 6th year in a row. That's a pretty impressive stat. Sam, by the way, sharp bow ties. We like that, wearing your Bago orange. Sam's the captain. Introduce us to your starting lineup.
On my left, I have Dylan, and on my right, I have Merrick and Carson.
Welcome, Winnebago Indians, and good luck facing the Forreston Cardinals. Cardinals took the last couple of seasons off, but they are back, hoping to advance to the second round. This would be the first time advancing, and Alex, that would be pretty sweet for you, I imagine, as captain, to be able to lead your team to victory. Who did you bring with you today?
To my right is Danica, and to my left is Dylan. To my far left is Colin.
Welcome to welcome back, I guess you'd say. And this is the first time that these teams have met. We kind of keep this theme going. We had a lot of these first-time matchups in our first round this season. So first-time matchups, teams kind of unknown to each other. We'll see what happens. We begin our game with the buzz-in round. So contestants, grab your buzzers. 2 most important rules. Wait for me to call your name before you answer, and then say that answer loudly and clearly. Good luck. Here's our first question this week. What show in which Max is saved by Kate Bush's song Running Up That Hill is a Netflix Dylan from Winnebago?
Stranger Things?
That's right. It picks the evil dimension called the Upside Down. I feel like you should get 11 points for knowing that one. Stranger Things fans? No? All right, we're moving on. What island, whose name translates as Sulphur Island, is home to Mount Suribachi, where 6 Marines raised the U.S. flag? Merrick?
Iwo Jima?
That's right, during a 1945 battle. What French painter used Victorine Moron as the model both for his painting Olympia? Dylan from Winnebago.
Manet.
That's correct, and for a depiction of an outdoor picnic, luncheon on the grass. 3 in a row for Bago. What name is given to the plane of the Earth's orbit as well as the path the sun traces out in the sky throughout the year? Merrick.
Orbit?
Incorrect. Forreston, you could take these points. Kind of a tough astronomy question. That's the ecliptic plane. What U.S. streaming service, which streamed the 2022 Eurovision Song Contest and the reboot Bel Air, is named after the logo of parent network NBC? Carson.
Peacock?
That's right. Also where you can binge Yellowstone. What president who fled to Germany during the May 1968 student protests founded the Fifth Republic and led the Free French Forces? Merrick.
Charles de Gaulle?
That's correct. In World War II, Paris's main airport is also named after him. What poem by John Keats describes a beverage from the warm South and uses the phrase light-winged dryad of the trees to refer to the title character? Sam.
To a nightingale?
Say that again.
To a nightingale?
We can't take that. Forreston. You missed a word. It's Ode to a Nightingale. Needed that full title. What country, which ceased issuing pennies in 2013, introduced in 1987 a coin known as a loonie, which it issues from its... Merrick.
Canada?
Yep. It's Royal Mint in Winnipeg. That's their $1 coin. In Norse myth, what plant from which Frigg did not extract an oath did Loki use to make... Dylan.
Mistletoe?
That's right, you got it. First points of the round for Forreston. He made the spear that killed Balder from that. What substance whose depletion after death causes rigor mortis consists of a nucleoside bound to an ion containing 3 atoms of phosphorus? Sam.
ATP?
Yes, also known as adenosine triphosphate. What event whose pretext was the murder of diplomat Ernst von Rott was a 1938 Nazi pogrom. Carson.
Night of the Long Knives.
Say that again, Carson?
Night of the Long Knives.
Incorrect. I'll finish for Forreston. 1938 Nazi pogrom named after the damage to synagogues and Jewish shops. Alex.
Kristallnacht.
Kristallnacht is right, yeah, or Night of Broken Glass, if you want to translate. An approximation treating nuclei and electrons separately is named for Max Born and what physicist who was the Manhattan Project's scientific head? Sam.
Oppenheimer?
That's right. Manhattan Project was that top secret effort to build an atomic bomb. Pope Paul VI enacted a program of aggiornamento, or updating, at what modernizing 1960s ecumenical council? Sam.
Council of Nicaea?
Incorrect. Forreston, you could take these points. Once you clear out we need to clear out the buzzer. There we go. No answer there. Vatican II, or the Second Vatican Council. And that's how we end the round. Winnebago off to a strong start, but Forreston threw a couple of questions in there. You're up to 20 points, so it's 80-20 as we end our first round. But there's 3 more to play. The next one we call volleyball, and it's right after this break. A Christmas weekend game, but only one of these teams will get the gift of moving on to our second round. Will it be Winnebago or Forreston? Who knows? Right now, Winnebago's on top. They have 80 points. Forreston has 20. And we're going to get into our volleyball round really quickly, but just a very quick thank you to our judge, Brad Fisher, who is a longtime supporter of Quiz Bowl. Our game is better because you're here, Brad. We've said this to you many times throughout the years, but thank you for being here and being our judge. All right, volleyball is conferring, so work as a team. We encourage you to work as a team, but all the answers need to come from the captains. Our first volleyball question is going to Winnebago. Sam, are you ready? Here we go. What fruit, whose varieties include cara, blood, and navel, is known in Spanish as naranja and shares its name with the mix of red and yellow?
Orange?
Yes. You squeezed that one in with all those clues. Nice. Sorry. Bago's first points of the round, and now we've got Forreston's first question of the round. In September 2021, a new defense pact was signed by the U.S., Britain, and what country, then led by Prime Minister Scott Morrison? Scott Morrison's Prime Minister of, at that time, Australia. Back over to Bago. In what battle fought in Freeman's Farm and Bemis Heights did Horatio Gates capture a British army in a 1777 turning point in the Revolutionary War?
So, that'd be Yorktown? Yorktown?
Incorrect. Saratoga. That battle actually convinced France to help the Americans. We're back over to Forreston now. Sicko Mode is a song on what 2018 Travis Scott album that lent its name to a 2021 festival where 10 attendees died in a crowd rush?
Astroworld.
Yeah, you knew that before I even finished the question. You've got your 10 points, and we're going to move over to Winnebago now. What writer described the officer's painful execution in the story In the Penal Colony and wrote about Gregor becoming a bug in The Metamorphosis?
Kafka.
Yep, Franz Kafka. Forreston. What system that assigns 512 to algebra and codes starting with 981 to books on the history of Brazil is a classification system used by libraries? I feel like Dylan was kind of leading you this direction, maybe not. Like, it's hard to tell sometimes just from listening to the whispers. Dewey Decimal, named for Melville Dewey, librarian at Amherst College in 1873, back to Winnebago. In 2021, a Canadian group decided to release 50 million pounds from its reserve of what sweet food made by gathering sap from a specific type of tree?
Syrup?
Yes. Can you be more specific?
Syrup.
Yes. The group is the Quebec maple syrup producers, sometimes called the OPEC of maple syrup. Who knew that even existed? Forreston. William Calley was convicted of leading what 1968 massacre in which U.S. soldiers killed up to 500 Vietnamese civilians? Everybody but Calley was cleared in this event. The My Lai massacre is what we were talking about. Back to Winnebago. What metallic element is found in the mineral aragonite, is used by corals to build their skeletons, and is combined with phosphate in human bones?
Yeah, calcium. Calcium.
Yes. We also get it from milk. You drink your milk. And that's the end of the round. We're out of time. So Winnebago extended its lead a little bit, up to 120. Forreston has 30, 90-point split. But that could change very quickly in our NECA IBEW lightning round, because if you run one of those categories, that's 100 points. We'll have that in just a second, but first, you get to play at home. Here's the Bergstrom bonus question.
Perhaps best known for his 5 turns as James Bond, what actor recently turned in the keys to his Aston Martin in order to play the lead detective in the Knives Out franchise?
Halftime at our Christmas weekend edition of Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. Winnebago's got a pretty strong lead right now, 120-30. None of the scores will change after this question. Just pizza and pasta from Lino's. So you will find a Lino's certificate in your Christmas stocking if you know the answer to this question. Hands on your buzzers. Here we go, contestants. Perhaps best known for his 5 turns as James Bond, what actor recently turned in the keys to his Aston Martin? Carson.
Craig.
That's right. In order to play the lead detective in the Knives Out franchise. Way to go, Carson. You are the team's hero. And actually, Daniel Craig returns as Detective Benoit Blanc in Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, which is available now on Netflix. Enjoy the pizza and pasta. Carson and the Indians will be back with our NECA IBEW lightning round, where instead of pizza, we'll have points on the line. Back for our NECA IBEW lightning round, where these scores will change very quickly. The round moves fast, that's why we call it lightning. Right now, Winnebago is on top, 120-30, but Forreston has first pick in lightning this week. So Alex, your choices are NBA Beginnings, Sam's, and I Am.
We'll take NBA beginnings.
You got it. Name the teams for whom these members of the NBA 75th anniversary team played their first NBA games. So some of these players may have played multiple teams. We need to know who they played, what team they were on when they played their first NBA games. You will have 60 seconds to go through these 10, and then Merrick, you and the team will have 30 seconds to clean up whatever points they don't get to in that 60. Remember, both teams, you can pass, so don't spend too much time on a question and eat up a lot of clock. You ready for your first one, Alex?
Yes, sir.
Name the teams for whom these members of the NBA 75th anniversary team played their first NBA games. Michael Jordan.
Chicago Bulls.
Correct. Kobe Bryant.
LA Lakers.
Correct. LeBron James.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Correct. Larry Bird.
Boston Celtics.
Correct. Dirk Nowitzki.
Dallas Mavericks.
Correct. Dennis Rodman.
Detroit Pistons.
Correct. Shaquille O'Neal.
Orlando Magic.
Correct. Charles Barkley.
Phoenix Suns.
Incorrect. Dominique Wilkins.
Atlanta Hawks.
That's correct. Clyde Drexler.
Pass.
That's all you've got left.
LA Lakers.
Incorrect. All right, we don't have anything to go back to. There might be a few seconds on the clock, but not a bunch. That closed that gap really fast. See the difference lightning round can make? You're now only 1 question away. There's 2 questions left on the board for you, Merrick and Winnebago. You'll have 30 seconds. Take all the time you need, or if you want to just answer teams and move on, we can do that as well. You ready for your first one? Name the teams for whom these members of the NBA 75th anniversary team played their first NBA games. Charles Barkley.
Warriors.
Incorrect. Clyde Drexler.
Warriors.
Incorrect. Or we'll move on. Charles Barkley, you said Phoenix, right? He played eventually for Phoenix. He first played for the 76ers. And Clyde Drexler played for the Portland Trail Blazers, but his last 4 he played in Houston. So Portland Trail Blazers for Clyde Drexler. So very different game right now, right? There's only 10 points between our 2 teams, but equally, Merrick could change your score. You and your team could change your score pretty quickly with one of these last 2 categories, which are Sam's or I Am.
Sam's.
All right. Answer the following about people whose names start with Sam. That is as descriptive as I can get. And then, Alex, same rules apply to you. You'll have the 30 seconds at the end. Merrick, are you ready for your first one?
Yes.
Answer the following about people whose names start with Sam. Pen name of author Samuel Clemens.
Pass.
Samantha Power was ambassador to this organization.
Pass.
Singer of Stay With Me and James Bond theme Writings on the Wall.
Sam Mendes.
Semendez.
Incorrect. First president of the Republic of Texas.
Houston. Yeah.
Houston.
Correct. AFC East team that drafted quarterback Sam Darnold.
Oh. Jets.
Correct. Sam Spade is the protagonist of this detective novel.
Pass.
This man's diary describes London's Great Fire.
Pass.
Sammy Brady is a character on this soap opera set in Salem.
Pass.
Explorer who names a lake between New York and Vermont.
Hudson.
Incorrect. Composer of a 1936 Adagio for strings.
Pass.
Pen name of author Samuel Clemens.
Johnson.
Incorrect. And that's our time. You had two correct answers, so you added 20 points to your score. You're up to 140. 30 points is not a big gap, and there's still a lot up here for you, Alex. We'll see how many you can get through in these 30 seconds, and I will read as fast as I can because 30 seconds isn't a lot of time. Are you ready for your first one? Answer the following about people whose names start with Sam. Pen name of author Samuel Clemens.
Mark Twain.
Say it louder.
Mark Twain?
Yes, correct. Samantha Power was ambassador to this organization.
Make-A-Wish.
Incorrect. Singer of Stay With Me and James Bond themed Writings on the Wall.
Pass.
Sam Spade is the protagonist of this detective novel.
Pass.
And that's our time. There's a lot left there, too. And 30 seconds goes by pretty fast. You added one. It's now a 20-point swing. I'll run through all these, make sure I don't miss any. I'll run through the ones that no one got. Samantha Power was ambassador to the United Nations from 2013 to 2017. The singer of Stay With Me, I think you combined two pop stars. You said Sam Mendes, right? I think you did. You're thinking of Shawn Mendes, but the answer is really Sam Smith. Sam Spade was the protagonist in The Maltese Falcon. The diary that described London's Great Fire was written by Samuel Pepys. Sammy Brady is on the soap opera Days of Our Lives. The explorer who names a lake between New York and Vermont, you said Hudson, it's Champlain, after Lake Champlain, Samuel de Champlain. And the composer of the 1936 Adagio for strings was Samuel Barber. We have a very tight game going into our last round. In fact, each of our questions is worth 20 points in our final challenge, which means only one question separates our two teams. We'll see how this close match ends right after this break. Wow, we have a very tight game. They're not always this close when we go into our final challenge. After nearly running that NBA category, Forreston is now within 20 points, one question, of Winnebago. It's 140 to 120. And Sam, your team could have used you during that lightning round about Sam's. We didn't have any questions about you, but maybe there's that Sam connection that could have helped. So the most important rules right now, especially because the game is so close, wait for me to call your name before you answer and say it loudly and clearly. I have to make sure that I can hear that question or that answer that you give to the question. Hands on your buzzers. Good luck. A seat in our Sweet 16 is on the line. Here's our first question in the final challenge. What colorful object is used to create a deserving porcupine, an apple tree, and a moon in a Crockett Johnson picture book about a child named Harold? Sam.
Magic crayon.
Can you be more specific?
The magical crayon.
Incorrect. Forreston, you could take these points and you will tie it up. Dylan from Forreston.
The large purple crayon.
Josh, can we take that? Yes, you got it. You tied it up. Purple Crayon. The name of that book is Harold and the Purple Crayon. Aunt Lydia is the narrator of what 2019 Margaret Atwood novel that is a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale? That's The Testaments. What man who a civil jury found liable for Ron Goldman's death was acquitted in 1995? Colin.
O.J. Simpson.
Yes, of murdering his ex-wife Nicole Brown, and is a former NFL star. For the first time this game, Forreston is on top. What 1963 Supreme Court case held the Sixth Amendment requires states provide indigent defendants with an attorney? Merrick.
Miranda.
Incorrect. Forreston, you could take these points. That was a unanimous decision in Gideon versus Wainwright. What social science, which received its own Nobel Prize in 1968, was studied by John Maynard Keynes and the Wealth of Nations author, Sam?
Economics.
That's right, Adam Smith. We're back tied. What company that operates a gigafactory in Nevada moved its corporate headquarters from Palo Alto to Austin, Texas in 2021? Sam?
Amazon.
Incorrect. Forreston, you could take the lead back. That was Tesla. What structures in which barbs are attached to a stem known as a rachis have a down type? Those structures are feathers. What city is home to Berkshire Hathaway, shares a metropolitan area with Council Bluffs, Iowa, and is the most populous city in Nebraska? Alex. That is correct. Sisimiut is the second most populous city on what island, whose native name is Kalalit Nunat? Carson.
Aleutians.
Incorrect. Forreston. Colin.
Hawaii.
Incorrect. Greenland. What was the classical name for the area where the siege of Alesia took place during Vercingetorix's Merrick?
Gaul.
That is correct. Vercingetorix's war with Julius Caesar in present-day France. We are tied. In what city did Martin Luther King deliver his "I've Been to the Mountaintop" speech during a strike by sanitation workers in 1968? Carson.
Memphis.
That is correct. Also the city where he was killed the next day, and that is the time for the round. One question. Winnebago is on top. They are on top by 20 points, 200 points total. You are moving on to the second round. Did you hear the collective sigh in this room? We don't always get final rounds that go back and forth like that. Alex, I can see it in your face. You're disappointed. Every reason to be, because of you, but you should be very proud because you played a very good game. They aren't always this close going into the final round. So we were happy that you were back to play our game. We hope you had fun despite not moving on. How many of you are seniors?
Just me.
Just you?
Yep.
All right, we've given this instruction to other teams. Your job is to, first of all, make sure Danica and Dylan and Colin come back next season and play with us and recruit more players for the team so you can come back and compete. And you have a standing invitation. Come visit us anytime. And Winnebago, you are moving on to play the winner of next week's Galena and Lutheran game. And you will see that when you join us. Merry Christmas.